Welcome to Shom Achshava on the Daf. She responds to Lu Nishmas Aram B'Yakov Shalom Le'Abbas Yitzchok. We're holding over the Zara Daf Ayin Dalet. The Gemara towards the end of Amud Bey says that Rava used to say Na'avo Artechu. A little strange lashon, but what does it mean? Artechu means to boil it. Astoyes goes on to explain. You talk about pouring boiling water onto what? Onto navo. What is the navo? Explains Rashi, Navo is the gat. Navo is the winery. The place where you press the grapes and to make the wine, that's called Navo. And he sends us to the Lashon of the Targum in Bereshis Parshas Vayechi. On the Pasuk regarding the Brocha of Yehuda, Yaakov Avinu gave Yehuda, it says, Chaklili inayim miyayin, uleven shinayim mechalav. What is Chaklili inayim miyayin? Rashi there brings a few explanations. But one of them is what the Targum Unkelu says. The Unkelu says, Yetufun na'avoi bechamor. Its wineries will be full of wine. Meaning that when the Pasuk says, Chaklili einayim miyayin, the einayim will be so full of wine, it refers to the wineries, the gas, they'll be full of wine. Where do we see that the gas is called einayim, loshon ayin, loshon, I'm talking about an eye? So Rashi says, is a loshon of mainois v'kiluach hayakovim. It's the loshon of rivers, and as if the flow of the river of the wineries. What does Rashi mean? Why, when we speak about an eye, inayim, loshon eye, that refers to a river? Why is these two things connected? But this is the loshon of the Ramban in Parshas Miketz, beginning of Parshas Miketz, when he speaks about the pasuk that oimed el hayor. What's the Yor? So he brings the Rashi, comes to argue. The Maharal says that what the Ramban says, also Rashi agrees with, that the Ramban comes and concludes over there that always when we speak of things that have to do with water, it has the same lashon, same language as light. Yor is lashon or. Nahar, river, is lashon nehoira. And a mayon is lashon ayin, meaning an eye, where you see the light. And this concept the Ramban refers to is brought down in Divrei Mekubalim, the Pardes Rimonim, the Ramak, brings in Shav Chav Gimel Parag Yud on the word Ye'or. Comes to say that Ye'or is always the loshon of Or, they come together. Explains the Pi Kabbalah that what Ye'or refers to something that brings light. The Ramban explains it a little bit, that the Geshem, rain in the world, has to do with koyach of the me'oiris, of the sun and the moon, so that's what connects to light. But Ramon Shapir Zatzal brought down in the Sefer Nechus Yoma, Mamer Vov, Ois Vov, he goes on to explain that when we're talking about here rivers and places of water, sources of water, we're talking about the source of things that are a makor, a source. Whenever you have a source of water, a spring of water, it's considered to be life, chaim. And life always belongs to the Gila of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the world. HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings life to the world. All the waters is a source of new life, of makor mayim chaim coming out. The makor always connects to what's called Ein Sof, to the place which is beyond the limitations of this world. And that's what light is all about. Light, or is the element of the world which is the most spiritual element. Is the things that is not, you can't touch it. It's not a tangible thing, but it exists. Is the connection to something which is beyond us. That's why the sources of water in the world, including rain, as the Ramban explains, and every other source of mayon, of nar, of yor, all has to do with or, because they all connect to the source that brings us to beyond the limitations of this world. Now, going back to our sugya, and we're talking about the gas, the winery. Why are we using loshon of navo? Rashi says, because we're talking about the yitvun na'avoi, referring to inayim in the pasuk in Parshas Vayechi. Meaning we're using the same loshon of river that for winery. As Rashi said there in Chumash, loshon ma'ainois v'kiluach. So the simple understanding would be that it's really loshon mushal. It's not exact. The same way you have a river of water, and that's called ayin and light and etc. as mentioned. So you have here also something which is a similar river made out of wine, because that's what the wine, where the God is like a source of wine instead of water, but we're using the same language even though we're not talking about water. So even though the idea that water and light connect to each other belongs maybe to water more than wine, but we're using the same lashon, the same language, because it's referring to a similar concept of a place of that has liquid in it. Based on things that we learned already early in the Masechta, is that yain refers also to something which is beyond this world. Yain is gematria, is the numeric value of soid, of secret. Within wine, you have a hidden concept which connects to something which is above the limitations of this world. With a wine, you can elevate yourself to a higher place. If you use the wine in the right way, you're coming to a place of sight. So you made the source of wine, which is the gas, which is the winery. It connects be'etzem to the source of water, connected to above the limitation of this world. Anyone who wants to join the Shomachshava email us to WhatsApp, please email shomachshava@gmail.com.